Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. This morning's topic: men have embraced feminism because of vaginaphobia. Men have embraced feminism because of vaginaphobia. Now, the title of this video might seem a little or appear to be a little controversial. It is not controversial if you put on your common sense thinking hat, which I see most men have left behind them so they can appease women with their feminist ideology. Now, the reason why I say men have embraced the feminist ideology is if you look at what's going on today, particularly the divorce laws, how dating is presumed, how we're supposed to treat women, how we're supposed to respect and honor women, men tend to blame feminism. Now, feminism is only an ideology, and women don't even know what feminism is, because today's feminists really don't care about equality. They want to control the relationship. They want role reversal. Furthermore, a number of them are misandrists. And if you don't know what a misandrist is the opposite of a misogynist. Both are incorrigible people. A misandrist has a dislike for men, just like a misogynist has a dislike for women. But why am I saying that men have jumped on feminism? Well, for the most part, let's look at all the marriage laws. See, men are cutting their own throats. Men are still in charge of 85% of the legislature in the country. Most of your men are mayors, they're state legislatures, they're congressional legislatures. We even have a male president. But if you look at what's going on today, the reason why these laws are made is because a number of men have vaginaphobia. They're afraid their wives aren't going to give them sex. And if you connect the dots, when it comes to women, and this is men's fault, men appease women by jumping on feminism because they want to tell a woman what she wants to hear so he can get sex from her. See, it all makes sense that everything revolves around her teardrops and tantrums, but also everything revolves around men getting sex. And what that's done for a number of men, that's put us at odds against each other. So as men, the people who we should be fighting are not feminists. You don't take the feminists seriously. You take the men in power seriously, because they're the ones who are making these rules. And the only way you do that, men, is you go vote with your feet. You start going to town hall meetings and talking to your legislatures. If men are afraid of their wives, particularly if you're in the power to make laws, then you make laws that benefit society equally. And if the person to whom you have signed a contract of marriage with doesn't like it, she can leave. It's that simple. And she can leave without getting the benefits of alimony and child support. But the problem with your men in power is you make all these laws to appease women, but then you have the men who are in the rulee class, or the ones who are being ruled, they become very, very tainted and mistrusting of women. Now, yes, feminism has played a part to destroying the society. Because right now we have an upside down society. But the men in power, that's the catalyst. The men in power put women in positions such as human resources to keep the men out. Again, I did an earlier video on this, but men don't want other men to succeed. They want to keep all the power for themselves. But also, men have vaginaphobia. They believe in their mind that they have to make laws to favor women. Also, men believe that we have to wine and dine women. We have to cater to women to get their attention. The bottom line is you don't have to do that. A woman is going to decide whether she wants to be with you or not, regardless of what you do. Now, what women are doing is taking advantage of the system, and they're smart enough to do that. Let me tell you this. When a subject is about football, basketball, wrestling, MMA, men are Rambo. But when the topic is about women, men are Bambi. They don't want to deal with the issues of women because they're afraid that their women will not give them sex. And when it comes to dating, most dating today is legal prostitution anyway. Men are really buying women dinner just for sex. And if you look at it, men and women aren't dating for the right reason, and they're not honest with each other. But what I can tell you is that most men believe that they have to do everything that a woman wants him to do in order to get sex. Yes, feminism has put men in a conundrum, especially those at the top. Because if those at the top who are making all these rules want to stay in power, they have to appeal to the feminists, because today's women are the largest voting bloc. But men don't have to fear the vagina. They want to fear the vagina. In fact, they're comfortable with fearing the vagina. Because a number of men don't want changes in society anyway, no matter how much we bellyache. Sometimes when we talk about a subject over and over and over and over and over again, particularly in the black community, we always talk about ratchet females. Well, a number of brothers are comfortable with talking about ratchet females. Why? Because they like ratchet females. Because if they didn't like ratchet females, they would move away from the ratchetness. But they're comfortable with talking about ratchet females because they like them. And also gives them something to talk about. But going back to men and vaginaphobia. Men always believe that they have to take something out of their pocket or tell women what they want to hear to get sex from them. And that's a big problem. Always has been a big problem. But it's gotten worse. In this Western society, it is very hard to date a number of women. Because women have a lot of unrealistic expectations. And the expectations that they have for men, they can't fulfill. Now, women do influence a number of these male politicians' decision making because it does favor women. Now, I'm not saying not to take a woman out, because if you ask a woman out, you should pay. But what I am saying is, you don't let a woman tell you, you have to give me a certain amount of your resources for you to have sex with me. Because sex is part of a relationship. And for you men who are married, marriage is not a bad idea. It's a good institution. But I hope you're in your marriage for the right reason. Also, I hope that you and your wife are interacting with each other intimately. Because if you don't, somebody's going to cheat. But when it comes to men and the vagina, men have allowed themselves to be influenced by feminism so they can get the vagina. This is why they don't check a woman's behavior. Because the minute they offend a woman, their chances of having sex with that woman or woman will be diminished immensely. And this is also a product of men coming from woman-headed households as well, where the men didn't have any positive role models. And I'm not talking about the black community right now, because there are a number of single mothers and white communities as well. Just because we don't talk about it in the black sector, I do talk about it because I see it. Because here in Portage, Indiana, there are a lot of white women on welfare in this area. See, most of the black men that you hear about talking about what's going on are men who are from the city. You get out of the city, you see the same ordeal. In fact, I'm going to do a video upcoming talking about why there's not going to be deep welfare cuts. But I'm doing this video because I'm telling men out there, don't allow yourself to be pushed in an ideology that you don't agree with. Because all that's going to do is destroy you as a man. Feminism has destroyed men and women, but the men who've embraced it are destroying you with these laws of marriage. Now you have men having to resign their positions because of allegations of sexual misconduct, which doesn't make sense, because there should be a due process. And I guarantee if there was a due process, you'd find that a number of these women are lying. But men are too weak. And again, the men at the top who are married fear their wives. That's why we have all these laws. That's why a number of women want men to get married. Men are opting out of marriage here in Western society. You see, if a man and a woman live together, there's no contract, and if she's not on any act right, he can tell her to leave or he can leave. And generally, when it comes to today's men, I don't even see them as men. I see many of them as boys who run around in an adult body because their mindset is still a child mindset. They want their mommies too much. But what mommy has done to some of these men is lied to them. They've given them a woman's point of view, and when they get out into the real world and meet other men who know what's going on, they start to have conversations like women. They get emotional. They name call. They want to be the great savior, especially when a man is telling a woman about her behavior. That's that appeasement. See, they're not really afraid for you, they're afraid for themselves. Because a number of these men with these laws and what men do on dating, a number of men really have a low self-esteem, low opinion of themselves. They don't know their worth. And I don't care how much money you have. The bottom line, when you embrace an ideology that tears down your gender, you can't blame women anymore. You have to add yourself as a man to part of the problem. And if you don't believe me, look around. In the first place, you can start, look on television shows. They'll have a panel of women, and a man. And that man is going to say everything in favor of women. Men don't want to deal with other men who aren't on board with feminism. The men on television have definitely been emasculated. You look at the men on daytime talk. They're not the type of individuals that you would ask to fix your car. They're not going to do the heavy lifting because they're not men. And those men would go to the nth degree to defend a woman even if she's wrong. Can't blame feminism for that. You blame the men who embrace feminism. I don't call them male feminists because that's an oxymoron. I just call these men treasonous/traitors because you don't see women embracing the MGTOW movement. Oh no, they'd never embrace the MGTOW movement. You may have some in the back who believe in it, but see, those women aren't going to come out and say they embrace the MGTOW movement. Why? Because they're going to get chastised by men who embrace feminism and women who are feminists. But men, if you want to get your power back when it comes to women, number one, you got to vote with your feet. Number two, you got to start treating women like peers. Don't start treating them like they're better than you, because that's where the problem is as well. Number three, when you date a woman who has your best interest. If she's self-centered, obnoxious, she's running her mouth without nothing to say, / that's a histrionic personality disorder with all these crazy opinions that aren't backed up by facts, that's not the woman you want in your life. You don't want a woman who's going to bring you a toxic environment. You want a woman that's going to bring you peace. But you don't want a woman who believes in a feminist ideology, because you have a number of women who believe that feminism is a savior, and many of women don't know what feminism is either. They're like sheep with a monolithic type of mindset. One sheep goes into the slaughterhouse, you see that they don't come back out. They think that they've gone to another dimension. No, you don't come back out because you're slaughtered, because your mind was too weak. Well, you don't want individuals who are followers. You want an individual who's going to be supporting what you do. And in exchange, you will work with her. You're supposed to be in a partnership when it comes to dating. But too many men have allowed themselves to be in a position to where they have to appease women to get sex with them. Also, if you're looking to date, now if you're looking to smash and dash, then sex is your only option because you make it your only option. But if you're looking to date, that shouldn't be the first thing on your mind. First thing on your mind when it comes to dating, you're looking for a partner to whom you are equally yoked with. That's the first thing. The second thing, as a man, you need to set guidelines for yourself. And you need to tell her what you expect out of her. Now, I don't use the word submit. I use the word cooperate. If she cannot cooperate with you, she's already telling you that there's going to be problems if you give her what you expect of her. Because, again, when it comes to women, they want to control the relationship. And if she gets with somebody who has his head on his shoulders, she's always going to try to have conflict with him. Men who are emasculated will put up with that nonsense. Men who aren't, they have a lot of options. But basically, you men who have embraced feminism, because you make the laws based on the influence of feminism, it's your fault. See, women are only going to go where the system allows them to go. You've put women to appease them in positions of power to keep men from challenging you. Because what it is with you guys in power, you stay in power because you don't want to get out here in the real world because you will be challenged and you will lose. And you use women as a buffer. A number of women don't know that yet because they think they're riding high and mighty because they have a job making six figures, they're working in human resources, they're managing men. No, what you've done, you've artificially given women power and enhanced their self-esteem to make them feel good. But they're not connecting the dots either, because once you're finished with them, you're going to bring another set of women in their place. That's how you men in power work. But you use feminism as a personal gain for yourself to destroy other men. And I said this in previous videos. But see, that destruction, because of your laws, you've put men in a position where they don't even want to date women. You've created a lot of misogynists. And with the laws that are made, it's your fault because you fear your own wives. Guys in power, you got to get some balls. Get some gonads. Now, you might not like Donald Trump. Donald Trump has more balls than I've seen any other president besides Reagan, because he does not kowtow to women. You don't have to like what he says. But if somebody gets out of line with him, he's going to attack back. He's a fighter. He's from Queens. And street brawlers up in Queens. He's just a man with a degree that's not afraid to fight. And that's the problem with a lot of you men. You're afraid to fight. And you're afraid to fight because you're going to lose that pussy. How can you lose something that's abundant? Ask yourself that. So to all you men, stop fearing the vagina, because there's enough of it out there. Remember, if one bus passes you by, there's always another one coming. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this morning, Saturday, February 24th, 2018. You can tune in to the 401 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest calling number is 215-383-5785. Now, if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a mature and professional setting. That's right. You need to hear it from a mature perspective. Because on this channel, I don't engage in controversy, debate, or emotional issues. And if you get emotional, that's because you may not agree with something in the message that's being said, or you may not like the tone of the message. But remember, emotions always crowd critical thinking. And always listen to the information presented in the video and listen to the whole video before you comment. There are people who will listen to about 5 minutes of the video and they hear something that they don't like and they're going to comment. If you do that, I'm going to know it. And if you leave nasty comments, I'm going to delete the comments. On this channel, I don't engage in any drama or unnecessary bickering because it's counterproductive. What I'm doing is making you aware. My videos are awareness videos. I'm giving you the information on how you can understand how the real world works. I'm sharing my own experiences and I'm giving you information that I've also researched. And I'm keeping everything realistic but positive. Because once you have the knowledge, you have the power. And if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel, the only thing you have to do is email me. My email address is lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering. If you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time. My name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other. And have a wonderful and blessed day. God bless you.